Hey everybody and welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the initial startup of the Nintendo Switch 2, including attaching the new Joy-Cons and really just giving you a general overview of that unboxing experience, or at least my opinion of it. I do have the unboxing video, which I'll link in the description. So let's jump straight in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, so I've already turned the device on, and we'll do a really quick walk around so that you can see all of the ports. For example, down here, where you would actually dock the device, the color-coded sides for the Joy-Cons, and then up top with some additional ports / vents, volume rocker, and the power button. Now, I want to go ahead and show you how the Joy-Cons connect. So I really like the feel of these. They definitely have this kind of matte finish, same with the device itself. Now, a couple of improvements that I'll note, and then I'll note some of my concerns. So firstly, I like how these attach. So what I'm going to do is, rather than put any force, I'm just going to show you what happens when you get it close enough. You'll see magnetizes right in. So again, no force at all. And it just connects. Now, the Connect feels very, very solid. It doesn't feel like there's as much play or like there's as much of a tolerance in between the two Joy-Cons and the Switch itself. So there's a little bit of kind of wiggle room, so to speak, but it's much more minimal compared to the original Switch. The screen is also bright and, in my opinion, a little bit more vibrant and obviously larger. Now, when you're going through the startup and everything else, it feels pretty solid. It doesn't feel like it's slow or anything like that, which I think is to be expected. It's kind of built for the purpose. Now, as far as detaching the Joy-Cons, you kind of have to grip them just firmly, and then you essentially, as weird as it sounds, can just pull away. Now, I found personally that it's easier if you try to get it as close to the middle, and then it will just separate and click right back in. So I try to avoid grabbing on top of the buttons, and basically you can tell it fits really well right here, but if you just give it a little bit of a pull, they will separate. Then you'll have the buttons and everything else inside if you were using those with the relevant gaming pad attachments. So this is the device itself. Now, let's go into general thoughts. So a couple of improvements I noticed right off the bat. Number one, the actual, like the hinge and just this whole mechanism as far as the propping up and the stand is concerned, I really, really like it. It has a very solid feel, and it's much larger, so you're not going to have a tilt to one side or another. But they really consider the viewing angles, because as you can see, this goes pretty far back. And again, it has a solid feel. There's a little bit of resistance to it. So I really, really like this overall. Joy-Cons and the device itself feel very solid. It doesn't feel too heavy, and it doesn't feel flimsy. Now, I personally have a concern about the usage of just kind of removing and reattaching, but that's not something that I can say for sure is a problem. So I think right now we can just kind of disregard that. Now, the unboxing experience, which is very, very minor, but it feels like the box should have been a little bit bigger. Putting things back in, for example, the gaming controller, it's a pretty tight fit, but that's a really, really minor thing. I guess my expectations are very high for this, given the very high price point for the Switch 2. So that's my general overall opinion. Is I think they've made some very, very considerable improvements. I'm not a huge fan of the price point for this, which I'm sure many others have concerns about, especially with the price of the new games. But with that being said, the device feels very solid, and it feels like they have made some very, very big improvements overall. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you all in the next video.